Lena and Lexi back at you again.
Mm.
What it do?
How y'all doing?
Y'all ready? Y'all ready to get them panties kept?
How you doing? We trying to keep your panties on. Trying to help you keep your panties on.
And get a new perspective on dating, on love, on marriage, even God.
Everything.
Right.
So, Lena, would you like to tell people what we're going to discuss today?
So tonight we are talking about dating, but we want to focus on why do you feel it's important to date and what dating actually is.
Mm-hmm.
So Urban Dictionary, yes, I was Googling and I was like, what's the definition for dating?
Mm-hmm.
And they call it that time before you're actually in a relationship where you just see if you like, dislike, or have things in common with a person. Mm-hmm. And I kind of thought to myself, like, shouldn't that just be friendship? Shouldn't you get to know someone as a friend first to see how they're like and if you even want to be bothered with them as a person?
Because you may not, just saying.
Right, because I know I know personally, when I was really out there trying to date, I wouldn't let a guy take me out unless we had so many conversations over the phone. Because I'm like, why are you even in my presence and I don't know you? Are you a serial killer? What are you doing? Where do you work? How you interact with your mama? No, we don't. I don't want to just jump out and just be like, oh, let's just go get coffee. No, call me a couple times. Let me get acquainted to you and used to you, and then we can talk about going somewhere and being in an area, either public or private, together.
And, as far as dating, whether you want to call it dating, courting, or whatever you may want to call it, whether it's before the relationship or after, there should be a purpose to it.
Right.
If there is no purpose, run. Get out of it because you're wasting your time and theirs. And time is something that no one can ever give you back.
Just to piggyback on what Alexis is saying, that is so true. In college, I was dating like a fool. Now, when I say dating, I'm not saying having sex with everybody. I'm saying going out, having these conversations, going on, you know what I'm saying, dates, they pay. I enjoy being out, being in a man's company. I felt like that was great. And I'm not taking away from it, but I'm just saying when there's no purpose, you're wasting time. And in today's world, a lot of things revolve around sex. Mm-hmm. So why even put yourself out there as if you're condoning something you're not? So if you are truly chasing God's heart, if this is a serious relationship that you want to have be matured in Christ, then you have to know, like, I'm not going to put myself in a position to make it even look like I'm entertaining something that I'm not.
Exactly.
And even with my personal relationship, like I said, I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years. I did rededicate my life back to Christ while I was in this relationship. But even in this relationship, he's very aware, this is with purpose. I plan to get married. I love him. I know we do plan on being married. And it's like, it's certain things I'm still learning about him. And he was out of town for a little bit. So that does kind of, put to the 5 years. Mm-hmm. But it's a purpose behind it. And he's aware of it. We've talked about this. We've, even went through counseling. I'm like, I need to know that we on the same points because everything needs to line up.
And let's talk about why people want to date so bad. Like some women, and this applies to men as well. Sometimes we want to be in relationships so bad, but no one ever takes the time to sit back and say, why do I desire this so much? I desire marriage. I do. I desire to have children. I desire all of that. But I'm okay right now. But there was once a time where I was praying for my future husband more than I was praying for myself. I don't know if that's right.
That was a bomb drop. Right. That was a bomb drop right there.
And, I'm not saying don't pray for him. Pray for him. Keep that man lifted up or keep that woman lifted up. Do what you got to do. But there was so much that God wanted to do with me and do with my heart and have me do for him. I'm focused on a man I don't even know. I don't know you. My Adam is sleeping. And I was putting him on a pedestal. I don't even know this guy. You know what I'm saying? So why? Why is your desire to have someone so strong? And whenever you have a desire that's strong, I say question it. Question it. If it's not for God, right, why is your desire this strong? because I was lonely. I was lonely. I had low self-esteem. I wanted somebody to tell me that I was beautiful.
She hitting something.
You know, I wanted somebody to
Don't
tell
hit
me.
that.
No,
Don't
seriously.
hit that.
I
Don't
want
hit
somebody
that.
to tell me, oh, I want you to be in my space. You're my number one, even though that's a whole nother video. But I wanted those things. When God was saying, you are the apple of my eye. You are a jewel in my crown. I love you. You are far above rubies. He's been telling us this throughout our entire life, but we want to hear that from man. And the void that you're trying to fill, there's no man that can ever fill that void. That void can only be filled through Christ.
Right. And she makes a great point. So we have Psalms 37, 3-6, and it really talks about just delighting yourself in God and trusting Him. And He'll give you the desires of your heart, but let God be your desire. I remember when my boyfriend came back to Chicago, and right before he came back, I said, God, I want you to be my desire. I don't want to get so caught up in what we doing and what we not doing that it distracts me from you. And self-image and self-worth has so much to do with dating. That's why I said, ask yourself why. Ask yourself, why is there a need for me to date right now? You know, am I truly seeking God with my whole heart? Your studying, your prayer life, your worship, is it truly where it needs to be? If your prayer life, your worship, and your devotion to God isn't where it needs to be, you don't need to be dating.
Come on.
And we need to take a step back sometimes and just be honest with us. I remember Apostle Stevenson, love my apostle. He said this, and it was the honest to God truth. He said you were out there dating people in and out of beds of strangers because you was looking for Jesus
the whole time.
And it struck me in my heart because it was true, like Alexis was saying. I wanted to be loved. I wanted somebody to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know, like, I was loving hard because I wanted to be loved back hard. I wanted to be complimented. I wanted someone to give me that, I want to be with you and nobody else. But Jesus does that. Jesus gives you that. And when He said that, it hit me. Ooh. It hit me so hard because I was like, all that time. Now, I haven't been, very, very, out here like, oh my God, like I haven't been around the block like that. But the people that I did open myself up to and being in these long-term relationships with people who weren't even for me is because I was. Mm-hmm. I was seeking Jesus. I wanted to be with a man who didn't have himself together. I dated a thug. It was.
I remember that.
Yes, I was sitting there like, it's okay because Jesus gonna change him. No, baby. He was a thug. When you catch people talking about selling drugs and sticking up folks, I was like, where did I go wrong here? This is not what I signed up for.
College educated and stuff. Like,
I didn't know you was doing that. You have a job. I didn't know you was getting down like that.
You slanging too. I remember that.
Right. I'm like, all right.
We're talking to a guy that everybody thinks is gay. But I digress. Yeah. I'm just saying. Think about it. And let's put on our thinking caps. I teach. So let's then put on our thinking caps and be honest with ourselves.
Right.
Why do we have this desire? Why are you desiring to have a man, to have a husband so bad? Let me tell you, like I said, I desire marriage, I desire children, but I desire Christ way more. And I want to be so wrapped up in God that a man has to seek God for permission to even approach me. Let's be real.
That got all in my shondo.
Let's be real.
I was like,
damn, you should be dancing with God so much that God has to allow somebody to cut in.
Right, and don't think about it like, God, well, what am I gonna get married? I see the women in the church, they've been, single for like 50 years. I'll be honest, I've had them thoughts myself. But what makes it different is that you want to make sure that you're all the way whole. Because the man doesn't complete you, God completes you. So that means if you haven't dealt with your issues, and when I say dealt with your issues, when you ask yourself, why do I need to be in a relationship? Why do I need to date? When you ask yourself, is my prayer life, is my worship, my daily devotionals, is it the place where it needs to be? Even, does God truly have my heart? examine yourself and look in your own mirror, and then you can see if you are even ready to embrace the man that God, or the woman, for those men out there, that God has for you. You know, Jesus can keep them boxes on too.
Hello. And let's hit that comparison real quick, because that's comparison. Because I know I've done it. You said you've done it. She's about 50, 60 years old, and she ain't gotten married. You don't know her situation. You don't know her story. You don't know her life. You don't know how many men God has placed in her life, and she's turned them down. You don't know. You don't know. This is why comparison is of the devil. Cut it out.
Amen.
Cut it out. Live your life for Christ. Don't worry about somebody else's life. Because let me tell you, you can't place them in a heaven or hell, and they can't place you in a heaven or hell. And just because someone, it may look all, the grass may look green on their side, you don't know what's going on with them. Let's stop this comparison. I mean, and it's real because we do it. We do. I have seen people, and I'm like, man, she ain't even living her life for Christ. She didn't got married. She didn't got all this. But I don't even want what she got. Let's be real. Everybody we're actually comparing ourselves to, do you even really desire what they have? I desire marriage, but I don't want her man. No shade to him, but I don't want it. So let's not. Our focus is off whenever we're comparing. It's off when our focus should be on Christ, because you don't know what goes on behind closed doors in someone else's home. You don't.
I couldn't agree more.
I mean, let's just be real.
Focus on what God has for you in this season, what God has you at, growing your relationship, and knowing that you cannot stop growing in Christ. So you can't say, well, I think I'm at a good point. No, you can't stop growing. And when you're at that point where he feels that he can allow you to be around, that discernment to kick up. Ooh. That discernment to kick up so quick to say, you know what, you're not it. I don't need your number. You need to stop doing this. Because I feel like we all are prophetic. So God can show you things about people that try to approach you and, and give you that discernment to say, no, this is not right. But if your heart's not with God, then you're not going to be able to catch that discernment. You're going to be so excited about somebody wanting to talk to you and get your phone number.
And that's not how you keep on your panties. I just want to throw that out there.
It's not, because you will start compromising yourself. But we don't talk about compromising when we start talking about having sex outside of marriage.
Because let me tell you.
Yes.
Stop meeting people at the door. That's all I'm saying. Well, we reached over 10 minutes. So we both pray that this touched you, that you're seeking God about this. And if it's your desire, seek him and let him guide you. Yes. Let him direct your path in life, and through dating and through anything else, courtship, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to wrap up and let you know that you are not alone. If you are desiring these things and you like, they just told me I was going to go to hell. We ain't saying that. But what we are saying is you're not alone, and we can change this. You can change this. Your heart can be focused on Christ if you just desire it to be.
Right, and give us feedback. Jesus is keeping the panties. Jesus is keeping our panties. We're not married. And it is hard.
It's hard.
So don't think, like I said, you're not by yourself in this. You're not the only one. Give us feedback. Ask questions. We are here for encouragement, prayer, whatever.
We're going to be starting a Facebook page pretty soon. But if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, or email us at lenaandlexishow@gmail.com.
All right, you guys be blessed.
Deuces.